Here in this tutorial, we're going to build a brand new package. The majority of the steps that we're going to take are going to be the same as if you were to build new content within a proposal. I'm first off going to start in the content library, and then I'll let you know when the same steps would happen for building within a proposal. So here I want to locate the main folder that my package is going to live in. I'm going to build a new tour. So I want to add a subfolder to this because I'm later on going to create products that will be associated with this specific tour, and I want all those items to live together. This will also help keep our content library organized. I'm going to name the tour, and now you'll see once I've added the folder, here down in the tour that I've just added, the Liberace Museum, you'll see there's currently no products or packages living within this folder. So I'm going to click on my package icon. I'm now going to title the tour, and it's going to be the Liberace Museum tour. You'll see your destination is automatically selected, and then you create your package. So once you've created your package, you want to make sure that your details for it are set. So starting here on the right, you can use the default margin percentage, or you could opt to choose a specific percentage for this package. I'm going to use the default. For your costing view, you can either choose to show it as line item or bundled. Note, however, when you pull this package into the proposal, you do have the capability of selecting whether that is shown as line item pricing or as a packaged item in the costing sheet. So don't feel like you're stuck with just one type of costing view. You do have the flexibility to change that within the proposal. Under your unit of measurement, you could leave that blank. You'll see the destinations. It will automatically select the destination that you're working in. For the blackout dates, you do want to choose if this tour has any blackout dates, and you would then go ahead and input it into the calendar. Now here at the top, you have the option to edit the title of the package. Here we have the history. It'll show you when it was created. And then this feature, the review feature, lets you know when it was last checked. This is helpful to see if you have an item that hasn't been reviewed for years. If you want to update it, you would then go ahead and mark it as reviewed, and it would then input the new current time and date in there. So for this, I first want to work on the article. I'm going to click on the title, and it'll take me to the article, which is blank. So I'm going to start by building the title, and I want to keep things consistent to how they're already built with the material that's related to this. So for the tours, I'm going to start with the title here, and Las Vegas builds all their tours with heading number 1 for the formatting for their title. Next, I'm going to add in a section for the tour duration. Now I have built these in 2 separate text boxes. That way it gives me flexibility to move things around should I need to. For instance, if I wanted to put the tour duration later on down further in the article, I could because it's not joined directly to the title. The way Las Vegas has their tour set up is with photo on the right, text on the left. So I want to keep it consistent, and I'm going to build it in the same way. Now I have not yet saved the photo that I want to use. What I've done is built a collage. So here in PowerPoint, I'm actually going to take a snippet of the photo I want to use. So just like that, and then I'm going to save it. Let's get rid of this so you can see how I pull it in. Now I'm going to choose the file. All of the photos that you use in Viper should be saved in a main destination. That way it helps keep your items organized, so should you accidentally delete anything from your content library, you know exactly where that photo is located, so you could re-upload it. Everything that you do, every photo or video that you upload into Viper does need to be saved the copy paste feature does not work. So now you'll see that I've uploaded the photo. The title will show here. And now I'm going to insert some text for this specific tour that gives a description of what the client is due to expect. All right, some of these things did not pull in exactly as I wanted them formatted. I'm just going to clear the formatting. And it looks like a couple of these have hyperlinks in there already. I'm just going to remove those links and make sure that all the text is correct. Viper does have the feature that will proofread some of the words. Note that it doesn't catch all of them, so there are certain contractions it recognizes as being misspelled. And then, of course, if we have proper names, it doesn't always recognize those. Now, within your text box, you do have the capability to use some of the same features that you would find in a Word program. So here, I could paste in items, clear formatting, bullet point, numbers, indent the text. I could toggle with block quotes. This inserts a horizontal line that would look something like this. If I wanted to undo, I simply go back. We can insert characters, and as you saw, I just played with the hyperlinks. If you wanted to view how it would look from the client's point of view, you simply hover over the eye and it'll show you a preview. And then again, some of the main features that you see in Word. Now the formatting is where you find the formats that we've already pre-programmed for headers and then also for tables. And then you have the option to insert a table here as well. Just note, if you insert a table, as you would in Word, you could right-click and work in it. However, Viper doesn't recognize that, so if you needed to make changes to the table, you would have to use the tools up here in the table option. All right, so now I've inserted the text that I want and realize that Viper will recognize that I have an extra space down here. If you wanted to get rid of that, you do need to make sure that your cursor is next to the end of the text. There's also one other thing to note. If you are copying text in and pasting it in, if you go past the end of the sentence and highlight all the way, it would say like to the end of this, Viper will recognize that as a large space, and then essentially all this blank space, it would save it. So you want to make sure that when you copy paste in text that you go just to the end of the sentence and not further. Otherwise that will mess up your formatting. So because we are working with a text and a photo placed together, we do have the option to select the section style. If I select no style, it will just pop in the image as it thinks it should be shown in there. So I want to see what the size is without reformatting. I'm going to save. And here the photo is actually quite large in comparison to the text. So I want to go back and edit that. So here I'm actually going to set it to about 30%, and we'll see how that saves it. All right, that looks much better. So now that I have the description in there, and I have the photos in there, I'm now going to add in a suggested schedule, inclusions, and the tour notes, because I want to follow the same format that they already have for their tours. So I already have these items built. I'm just going to paste them in. Now keep in mind, if I were to paste in like this, just using the regular paste, it will recognize some of the formatting already. If I were to paste in as plain text, it does not recognize any of the formatting. So just keep that in mind too. If you're copying in items that are already in a table and you want to keep them in a table, do not paste them in as plain text. Otherwise, it'll disregard all of the previous formatting. So I'm actually going to paste them in as regular. It already bolds some of these sections that I want bold. And then I'm going to save. Now because this is a new text box, it pops it in down below the photo. If I wanted to get rid of this additional space, what I could do is copy this section. And see, I only want to go to the end of the period. If I were to carry that past, it'll recognize all that extra space and throw off your formatting. So you can copy, and because this is all built in one section and there are no extra toolbars that I've highlighted, it'll actually be pretty easy to paste this in and still have all your formatting correct. So now I'm going to save that. So you see it pushes some of this text up higher, and I no longer need this text box down here. And so then that's how the new tour article would look. Keep in mind you have the ability to design your articles how they would look best to yourself and to the client. Next, we're going to go into building individual products, and that'll be a separate tutorial.